Hey TikTok. Hey YouTube. How y'all doing? I know I came to y'all this morning, but y'all, let's make some bread real quick. I'm using this is a Portuguese sweet bread that I've been making. It calls for 6 to 7 cups of flour, but y'all, I'm only gonna use well, it look like 3 because most of my flour gone. I don't know who using my flour. So I'm going to only use 3 cups of flour. Last time I used 4 cups and that was more than enough. So I was glad I didn't use the 6 to 7 cups of it. Then, oops, it calls for 1 cup of sugar, y'all. So I'm going to dip that out. My 1 cup of sugar. And then it calls for, because y'all have already seen the completed product. It calls, I'm using fast rising yeast. You can use that. And this, it calls for 4 teaspoons. I measured it out last time. This is exactly 4 teaspoons of it. But if you get the active yeast, you know, you have to melt it and let it sit for a minute. And I don't feel like doing all that. I'm tired. So you put that in there. Then you had to have scalding. Scalding water. And what I do, y'all, is I just mix it up just a little bit. And then what I do is beat my eggs. It calls for 3 eggs, and you know I'm gonna leave my shells for my garden. So I'm gonna do 3 eggs. And slightly beat those and put them in there. And then after I get that in there good, y'all. See? Oh, shit. Spilled it on my table, y'all. I'm going to have to get a whole nother doggone egg. Doggone it. Get that off of there. I got to get 1 more egg, y'all. And so then after you put that in, you'll put in a little bit of warm water. So what I do is so that the flour won't lump up, let me try to move it over, y'all. I'll start stirring it. Man, will you bring me the mop? I'll start stirring it. A little bit of this egg got on the floor. Stirring in my water. But if you stir it slowly, it shouldn't lump up, okay? And so this is warm water. It was a fourth of a fourth of a cup of water. Then it had called for 1 cup of scalded milk. Y'all, I gotta get this egg off of my floor before, because they haven't finished my floor yet. But all the rest of this part of it is new. Give me just a minute. So then it calls for fourth of a cup, but it calls for 1 whole cup of scalded milk. I already had my milk on, you see, and so it was scalded. So I poured that in slowly. And then my last thing will be what was my last thing? Oh, you have to have a 4. You're gonna do that now. You do half a teaspoon of sea salt in there. And you know, you use what you want, but the recipe called for sea salt, but as y'all see, I didn't use everything the recipe called for. But you use half a teaspoon of sea salt. That's my sea salt. And then you use a 1/4 of a cup of butter. So I am going to dip that out. And then what I do is I gotta put it. It's got some salt in it, y'all. Is what I do is I warm it up in the microwave, so that it's not gonna be too, so that it won't be so that it'll be warm but not hot. It calls for butter, but I'm using margarine because that's what I got. And I probably wouldn't use butter anyway because I've been trying to watch my blood pressure and stuff. So I probably wouldn't use butter even if I had it. But last time I used margarine and it turned out fine. I'm going to click y'all out for a minute because I'm almost at 10 minutes. But when I get ready to stir everything, I'm going to click you back on. Okay, y'all, we back. So I got my butter melted, but not all the way with my margarine. Pouring that in there. And then once I get that poured in there, y'all, I'll get it all stirred up together. It's a little bit wetter than I wanted it to be. Let me see if I got a little bit more flour that I can put in there. No, I don't know who using my flour, y'all, and ain't saying a word. Because they don't even cook. So what you using it for? You know what I mean? But I'm going to put I got about a little bit in there. Put that in there. And then, y'all, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to pour it all in my bowl. I might have to go get some more flour, y'all. Because it came out kind of cakey. Because I didn't know I didn't have enough flour. But you put it in your bowl. And normally it'll be a ball. But I'm going to put it in there and see if it'll rise, okay? And I'll let y'all know if it does or not. And so, but that's the ingredients for your bread. But it does call for 6 to 7 cups. And last time I only used 4 cups. But this time I only had 3 cups. Because somebody's using my shit. Okay? Y'all have a good one. From an angry black woman out of Tennessee. Talk to you later. Bye.